That's it. That's the intro for this video. Hey everyone, it's Alexander Robinson. Welcome to the channel, and this is my review for The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie starring Porky Pig and Daffy Duck. This movie follows these two characters as they try to stop this alien invasion from happening that involves a new chewing gum out in the world. And that's pretty much the movie. It seems like I'm one of the last few people to review this movie, or to even see it, because last year it got some festival releases, it's been getting a ton of good word of mouth, which gave me some confidence, because it's a completely animated Looney Tunes movie, and in terms of theatrically released films in this property, they haven't been all that great. Space Jam, I understand, is a movie of the 90s. It was supposed to be my childhood, but it just isn't. There's just something about Space Jam that does not work for me. Even as a kid of the 90s, I never understood the appeal of Space Jam. I actually prefer Looney Tunes Back in Action, which I've talked about when I reviewed Space Jam: A New Legacy, and I would love to do a full review for that movie at some point in the future. And as for A New Legacy, well, the less we think about that disaster, the better. Like, it is awful. It is not even a Looney Tunes movie. It's just a giant corporate commercial for Warner Brothers, and easily one of the worst movies of this decade. And then we have the infamous story of Coyote vs. Acme, the Looney Tunes movie that got canceled by David Zaslav because he wanted a tax write-off. Now, I know I opened this video with a whiteboard saying, release Coyote vs. Acme, and I stand by that, because the idea of the movie sounds brilliant. Wile E. Coyote has finally decided to sue the Acme Corporation for all these inventions and gadgets that he buys to catch the Roadrunner, but they never work. That sounds like a brilliant idea, but the director is Dan Green, who did Earth to Echo and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, which aren't exactly good movies, so the thing is, had this movie been coming out, I don't know what the likelihood of it being good would be, but at the very least, let us decide if it's good or not. David Zaslav's continued reign of terror on the Looney Tunes should be stopped, especially considering that all the original Looney Tunes shorts are not on HBO Max anymore. Ugh, I hate that guy. But we're not here to talk about Coyote vs. Acme. We're here to talk about The Day the Earth Blew Up, which is actually a miracle that this movie even exists, because it's produced by Warner Brothers Animation, but it's being distributed through Ketchup Entertainment. That's right, this is a Looney Tunes movie. Warner Brothers' first major property being released independently, not through Warner Brothers themselves. And I gotta say, I am so glad that this movie actually got to see the light of day, because it is amazing. I don't think many people will argue the fact that this is hands down the best Looney Tunes movie released in a theater. It's beautifully animated, and it's the kind of animation that was made for a big screen release. When I look at a movie like Teen Titans Go to the Movies or the Bob's Burger movie, I think to myself, why is this in theaters? Because the animation does not look that much different from the show that's based off of. This is a spin-off movie of the newer Looney Tunes cartoons, which I haven't seen for myself. I better before David Zaslav removes them from HBO Max. But anyway, the animation is stellar. Like, you watch this and go, yes, this was made to be seen with an audience in a big screen movie theater because it looks that good. And not just look-wise, but there's a lot of visual jokes that come from how good the animation is. When the movie opens up, we get to see Daffy and Porky's childhood as they're raised by Farmer Jim. And Farmer Jim is completely static. He's one of those characters that he looks like a piece of art, whereas the other characters look like cartoons. So his animation is very limited. Only his mouth seems to move, and he walks around like a South Park character, where his limbs aren't being animated, but he just kind of bobs back and forth. It's hilarious. The rest of the humor is great as well. There are several moments in this movie that had me laughing hard, just like I did with those original Looney Tunes cartoons. There were two jokes that really got to me. The first is when we get an explanation for Porky Pig's stutter, but it's done in a very quick manner. They don't explain it like they do with so many other like prequels out there, and it's hilarious when it happens. I know I tend to talk about all movies as if you've seen them already, but if you haven't seen it, I won't spoil that gag. There's another moment that I found hilarious. When Petunia Pig arrives, Porky's in love, and Daffy looks over and goes, "Oh, you want a piece of that, huh? Well, let me help you out, buddy." And Porky's just like, "Oh, no, 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 don't do it." And it turns out Daffy was looking at a piece of pie on a counter rather than Petunia Pig herself. So that's funny. There's so many other great jokes throughout this movie, and some of it plays into the fact that this is an homage to the 1950s era of science fiction movies. I mean, the title of the movie is The Day the Earth Blew Up, which is just a few words away from The Day the Earth Stood Still. It captures the look of those old science fiction movies, the atmosphere is very on point, but it's mixed with that great Looney Tunes sensibility that they never seem to clash with each other. As for the alien invader, like, his master plan is just ridiculous. He wants to infect all the humans of the world with gum, to blow a giant bubble that covers Earth to protect it from an asteroid, because he wants to protect the Earth's ultimate resource in his eyes, boba. That's right. It's as absurd as it sounds, but within the context of Looney Tunes, it checks out. It makes total sense. The voice work is really good. There's no real major names in this movie, which it's kind of nice to see an animated movie that doesn't rely on celebrity talent. Probably the most recognizable for a lot of people is Wayne Knight as the mayor because, you know, Dennis Nedry from Jurassic Park. But of course you have Eric Bauza as the voice of Porky Pig and Daffy Duck. He is essentially this generation's Mel Blanc, where he is voicing nearly all of the Looney Tunes characters and does a great job with both voices. As Daffy Duck, he is just as chaotic as ever. He's more in line with the original Daffy Duck before he got paired up with Bugs Bunny. He is just, for lack of a better word, loony. And Porky Pig is just as great as ever, stuttering, being the voice of reason. And I love the scenes where he's with Petunia Pig. Both of them just seem like a great pair. And as for Petunia herself, she may be the most sane of the three main characters, but she still has her crazy loony moments as well. I couldn't pass up another opportunity. And she's just a lot of fun. The alien invader is great as well, and like I said, his plan is just ridiculous. He's one of those bad guys that is just a ton of fun. You love watching. And even though this character is under mind control for a good chunk of the movie, the scientist who's the first to witness all these extraterrestrial phenomenons got a couple of great laughs out of me. Like, this movie is just nothing but hilarious. It's also quite heartfelt because both Porky and Daffy act like brothers to each other. They're very close, they have their arguments, but it all really works in the end, and you really grow to care for these two characters despite the fact that you're mainly here for a Looney Tunes movie and just to laugh really hard. For a brief period of time though, I wondered if this was going to be a prequel to Duck Dodgers because you got both Daffy and Porky in the movie. There's an alien invasion happening. It would only make sense that it would be an origin for Duck Dodgers. But you know, that's me going, this is the movie I wanted to see. And that's not what this is, because what we got, this is easily the single best Looney Tunes movie released in a theater. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, and that's coming from somebody who has a soft spot for back in action. The Day the Earth Blew Up is really amazing on all accounts. If you're a fan of Looney Tunes, you are going to love this. If you haven't watched Looney Tunes for whatever godforsaken reason, you'll really enjoy this movie as well, and it's one you need to get off your ass and go see right now. And I mean now, because this is not being released through Warner Brothers. It's not going to have that much time left in theaters. So if it's playing in a theater near you, you gotta go check it out. But if you can't, you have to rent it, you have to buy it at some point, because this really is, right now, my favorite movie of the year. It is just all kinds of brilliant. I hope we get to see some more movies like this, because it's really great to see a Looney Tunes movie that's fully animated in a theater. And as I'm recording this review, Ketchup Entertainment is actually looking into picking up the rights to Coyote vs. Acme. So maybe these guys will be the new home for the Looney Tunes, because God knows David Zaslav hates their guts. So let's have our fingers crossed that there's a bright future ahead for the Looney Tunes at Ketchup Entertainment. And there you go, that's my review for The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I want to give a special thank you to my subscribers and YouTube members, including our newest member, High Commander Dick Solomon. That's a mouthful of a name, but thank you for joining YouTube memberships. The reason you didn't get a shout out in the Novocaine review is because that review was recorded before you joined. So whether you're a YouTube member or a subscriber, thank you for your continued support. You guys are the reason why this channel continues to grow every day. And if you're not a YouTube member, you can join for as little as $1.99 a month and get access to perks that no one else gets. But until next time, I want to know what you guys think about The Day the Earth Blew Up. Whatever your opinion is, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button to get notifications. If you want to find me elsewhere on the internet, you can find me on these social media platforms and my theme park and travel channel right here on YouTube. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, have a good day and take care of yourselves.